Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is video 4 for my dad's speech about becoming the president, wanting to become the president. Anyways, this is video 4. Here's my father, Kenneth W. Marlin.
Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate it. I know that many of you are probably frustrated, especially in light of the greatest and the newest news out there in regards to Miss Clinton. And so I certainly relate to your frustration, folks. The only way I know to get this message out most quickly is through YouTube. I do ask that you viral this thing, make it go out, okay? Send it out to people you know. Some of you probably, hold on a sec. Some of you probably think that it's way too late. Folks, I live in reality. It certainly seems that way, but all of us can relate to last minute things that we've all seen God do that are like, wow. Folks, I don't want you frustrated. I don't want you to give up. I'm begging you as a fellow American citizen to vote. Please vote, okay? In regards to the race for Ken Marlin, okay? If you really feel like the Spirit's leading that direction, I encourage you to vote for me, okay? Hold on a sec. Okay. So, with it in mind, folks, please do write in. I know that there are several states that take write-ins, whether you're certified as a write-in or not. There are others who are not. Folks, if you swell the ballot box with a write-in, the secretaries of state all across America are going to have to pay attention, okay? They're going to have to say, okay, what's the deal here, right? In light of the things that have happened recently and that we all anticipate happening over the next few days, we are a week out. In light of the things that you anticipate, folks, I really encourage you to get out there and vote. Please, please, please vote. Please don't just give up your vote like that. So please keep that in mind. I'm reminded of how, from that great piece of literature called the Bible, Moses was standing on the edge of the Red Sea. And I know we've talked about this in the past already, but it still happened. And it was a last-minute thing. Think about that. It was a last-minute thing in regards to what we call God's provision, okay? When we think about David, some people have talked to me about how in the world we're going to change this mess, as you have called it, okay? That's a fair question. We think about David. David made a difference. When David had made a mistake, he got justifiable consequences. But in that, when that plague was going across Jerusalem, David offered a sacrifice. God listened and he stopped the plague, folks. In the context of last minute things. And so I know that God still works that way. Look at the things that have opened up in the last few days, folks. So don't give up on the race. All right? Do vote. I encourage you to do that. I am asking you to write me in. I said that I would talk a little bit more about some qualifications. Please remember, folks, that if you want to know a compassionate American citizen, you're looking at him. I've served in the military 20 years. Uncle Sam counted it as a little bit longer than that, okay, but 20 years. And so if you want someone who has military experience, that certainly is me. You may think, well, broken. That's what other people call me, broken. You might say broken. Well, you don't have high-level executive experience, okay? Well, as I heard somebody ask one time in another world, if you would, that I live in, what has that high-level executive experience gotten us lately, folks? Think about that. you got somebody who has some compassion and definitely lives off integrity and is spirit driven and really does care for people, then that's what we need in the White House. We need the presidency returned to what it's supposed to be, folks. That's what it needs to be. And so please consider that. Some folks have asked about our adult children. A lot of you know them. I encourage you to think about what that means. With another candidate, adult children were brought up, and that was a plus. And so I encourage you, for those of you who know us, you know our children, and you know how they are as effective Christian adults. And so I encourage you to keep that in mind as well when you consider voting. Also, when you want to find a good example of what marriage looks like, how marriage works, instead of some of the examples we've seen lately on the national level, folks, ask the folks who know Miss Christie and me what our example is. I mean, I can tout all night long about how we're a great couple, but guess what? We still have arguments, but a lot of people look at us and say, wow, yeah, that's how marriage is supposed to be. After 3.5 decades, you would think something's figured out, right? The other thing I want you to consider, folks, is, like I've said in a previous video, it amazes me when women come up to me and tell me that I'm safe. They trust me. That's a huge deal right now, folks. That's huge. I have a lady who I've worked with downtown Pensacola who told me flat out to my face, she said, Mr. Marlin, I consider you to be the safest man in America. Please consider that, folks. I know that many of you are extremely frustrated. I'm probably adding to it because some of you saying, I've never heard of this guy. Okay? But ask the folks around you, see if somebody knows us. Okay? I don't want y'all frustrated. Above everything, the big deal I want y'all to get tonight, please, a week out from the election, is to vote. Please, please vote. Don't abdicate your right as an American citizen because you're frustrated. All right? If you want some justification, be right. Some people use the phrase voting your conscience. Some people talk about voting your conscience. Y'all hold on, I got a technical thing to do here. Yes, I'm a normal American, and yes. Anyway, okay. Voting your conscience is a phrase that a lot of people use. Folks, if you need to vote your conscience, that's correct. Do that if that's the way you're wired, okay? Write me in, okay? If you can't bring yourself to vote for either one of the other candidates, write me in, and at least you voted your conscience. If you're a Christian like I am, really seek the Spirit on this, okay? Don't just let it go. And please, I beg of you again, don't abdicate your vote. Please don't just let it go. Swell the write-in ballot box of America, okay? Those of you who are not the same faith that I am, please do not be concerned about me being overbearing and forcing my beliefs on you. You're an American citizen. You do have a right to believe in the faith that you believe. I respect that. I do. And so I want you to understand that. I'm begging you folks, as Americans, please get out there and vote. And if you feel led, if you feel it right, write in Kenneth W. Marlin, Ken Marlin, like the fish, okay, or broken, make sure you put the name Marlin in there and swell the ballot box. Thank you very much, folks, for listening again. Please make this thing go viral. And I'm still waiting for some of those invitations to be answered. So take care, and we'll talk to you later, America.